Very easy. I want to be the greatest culture in professional sports, and that's saying a lot. I get that, but it's no different than sitting up here and talking about winning Super Bowls. I mean, there's a standard. The standard is we want to be the best, and will we be the best culture? I don't know. We're gonna try. And will we make mistakes along the way? Absolutely, we'll make mistakes, and then we'll fix things. And but you guys asked me a couple weeks ago about GP coming in here. How does he fit the culture? Well, the culture's more than just one person, and so the big thing that goes into culture too, I think, is being authentic. I will always be authentic. I'm never going to stand up here and pretend to be something I'm not. I think that's a recipe for disaster in this business. I've seen it. I've seen it fail. I think I shared with you, my dad said, hey, if you ever get a shot to be a head coach, one thing you should never do is change. Be yourself. And so the culture that we're building here is something that I truly believe in, and that most of these players that we have, they believe in it, or if they don't believe in it yet, hopefully them seeing my conviction makes them buy in.
Ladies and gentlemen, another day of the Dallas Cowboys OTA practice is officially in the books, and right here we see some more Dak Prescott, the CeeDee Lamb, but overall we're going to break down everything you need to know from the news, the notes, some photos from practice, some observations, who's looking good, maybe who's not looking good. We got you guys covered. I will say before we dive into the video that media members aren't allowed to have highlights from practice. They're allowed to take photos, I believe, until mandatory minicamp or even training camp as well. So highlights will be coming at some point in time, but right now, sadly, we don't have those. But we're going to break down everything you need to know. Again, who's standing out, who looks good, we're going to break it down. Before we dive in, make sure you guys go follow all of the Cowboy media members on X or Twitter. They're going to keep you guys updated throughout it all. And with that being said, let's dive in. Now, first thing first, we can look at Nick Harris here. He does a lot of covering of the Dallas Cowboys. Make sure you guys go follow him. But he had two really good things to say about the running back room today, and we can kind of really quickly go through everything we saw from the running backs. And it says right here, Miles Sanders had 2 receptions, a screen and a swing pass, and a nice run or a nice gain on an inside run that he bounced to the edge. He's got that one cut ability. Really like that from Miles Sanders. Now, Javonte Williams is a guy that the Cowboys are really, really high on. Hasn't been the most productive player in the world throughout his career, but this is someone that they think could be a, maybe not necessarily a workhorse, but someone that could take a lot of the carries throughout the season. Now, he had 2 receptions and had a good gain on an inside run. Also got loose on a wheel route down the sideline for a big chunk of yards as well. So the running back room looks good, but I know you guys want to hear a little bit more about Jaden Blue, and that's who or what we can discuss kind of next here. Now, Jaden Blue was specifically taking a lot of reps in kickoff return. He was getting a lot of that burn today. And obviously as a rookie, especially a rookie running back not drafted within the first couple of rounds, you're someone that's got to make your impact on special teams early until they allow you to get that shot on offense. So Jaden Blue's doing everything right. He's not looking bad at all. He's looking pretty damn good. But this running back room, a lot of people were concerned with. I wouldn't be at all, man. They got some guys here. Now, another big, important piece of practice. Couple of linebackers are really starting to stand out. Not only Jack Sanborn, but one of the biggest players so far of the offseason has been Kenneth Murray. I mean, we all know the talent is through the roof. A lot of untapped potential, and it looks like it is really coming into its own here in Dallas. If you see what Joseph Hoyt says, another OTA in the book, some defensive notes. Your starting linebackers, again, with the first team, were 2 offseason acquisitions, Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray. Deron Bland continued to do a lot of work in the slot, including an individual drill. They do expect Deron Bland to be kind of an inside nickel type of DB for this team going into next season, and I don't really mind that at all, especially if you have Trayvon Diggs getting back healthy, and then you have, guys like Kalen Carson and or Siobhan Revel on the outside. Kaiir Elam, let me just mention him right now. He's been insane. Kaiir Elam is right next to Kenneth Murray in terms of he has been looking really good so far in camp, and they are pleased with the kind of growth that he has already shown. Now, before we get any further into this video, maybe talk a little bit about George Pickens. I do need you guys to do one favor for me. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so, but most importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and we will be covering the Dallas Cowboys throughout the entirety of this year's offseason. Now, you may be asking, what does that include? Okay, well, first of all, OTAs. All of this week, all of next week, we got you guys covered. From there, we're going to head into mandatory minicamp. And then after that, they get about a month off, and then we get into training camp. If you want me to cover every single practice, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, it's free, doesn't cost anything. Make sure you guys turn on some post notifications. That way you're notified when I do post these videos. Now, with that being said, let's talk a little bit more about this offense, man. Now, George Pickens has been really good, but Dak Prescott continues to flash that mobility that he once had. Now, it doesn't look like he's fresh off a hamstring injury at all. It looks like looks really good. Looks like that injury never bothered him. He was 14 of 18 passing with 2 drops from Luke Schoonmaker and CeeDee Lamb from today's practice. 1 Kyrie Elam PBU and 1 miss on a tough throw down the left sideline. But Dak Prescott and these wide receivers are building a great rapport. All right, now here's Sam Williams. He was a part of the rehab group today, but we also saw a little bit more from Donovan Ezeuruku. This is a guy that the Cowboys really do like. He worked in some 7-on-7s in today's practice, and obviously we all know in 7-on-7s there's no defensive line, there's no offensive line, so he worked as someone that was dropping into the flat, right? Now this is really a hard flat. You got a soft flat, you got a cloud flat. He was a guy that was showing that versatility where, yeah, he might be able to hold his own in zone coverage. So Sam Williams coming back, Donovan looking good, defensive line could be really good this year. Overall, great practice. You see here, Tommy Yarish had some things to talk about. Deron Bland spent the majority of his time in the slot during 11-on-11s and 7-on-7 period, where he lined up outside. Both Kamon Hall and Juanya Thomas saw reps there as well. Shamar James was absent from practice along with Michael Parsons as expected. With the linebacker core, Kyrie Elam had another PBU, this time in the middle of the field against Dak Prescott. There was a heavy rotation across the board with the first team defensive tackles and edges with Dante Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, Peyton Turner, Donovan E., we're going to call him, all got time at defensive end. Rookie Jay Toya took a couple of reps with the first team unit at defensive tackle. But overall, this football team is getting better. They're working extremely hard, and I am excited about almost every single position group right now. You look at the wide receiver core with George Pickens and Jalen Tolbert and CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin behind him, and then they trade for Jonathan Mingo from last year. Maybe he gets a lot of burn this year. You still have Jalen Brooks and Paris Campbell that they brought in, right? From there, offensive line, they add Rob Jones, Tyler Booker, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, right? You got Cooper, you got Terrence Steele, Johnny Cornelius, Brock Hoffman. They got a lot of guys in the offensive line room that have a lot of potential. Jake Ferguson's fine. Luke Schoonmaker, Rivaldo Fairweather. Then you got Joe Milton, who you bring over in the offseason. He looks like he's really good. Learning a lot from Dak Prescott. Javonte, Jaden Blue, Miles Sanders, Phil Maffa. Running backs look good. Then defensively, you add not only Dante Fowler, but Jay Toya, Donovan E. You add Solomon Thomas and Tommy King Bisate, Peyton Turner. Right? Defensive line looks so much more improved than what it was last year. Maybe they can stop the run this year. And then hopefully Demarion and, Trayvon Diggs can get healthy here very, very soon. But overall, got to be excited about this football team. They're putting in the work. They're getting better, and it's going to be a good year. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.